all, and welcome back to another thrilling episode of Off the Dome. I'm your humble interviewer, Jordan Brown, and with me for the very first time is our outstanding organizer. Say hi, outstanding organizer.
Oh, I was hoping there would be alliteration. Hi, outstanding organizer.
There's always alliteration.
Amazing.
Laser, thank you so much. This is so exciting. You are in the midst of a really exciting... I messaged you this today. I'm so bummed because, your Kickstarter cleared before we did our interview, and I really like taking credit for things that I don't have much to do with. So, like the Bridgerton Kickstarter, I think I genuinely may have put them over the edge.
I agree with that. As a person who was watching that closely, I agree.
Yes. Reika was going to clear easy, but I did interview her before she had met the goal. I posted some things before it happened, so I can take partial credit.
Absolutely. That was so funny. I was actually on a call with Reika that morning, and she was like, I was supposed to be talking to Jordan right now, but I'm still literally launching the Kickstarter. I was like, that was a crazy scheduling choice. It's really amazing. But you still got it before it funded, which is great. So it is your
because literally she launched 20 minutes before she had to send me an email to delay our chat so that she could finish launching the Kickstarter, which you helped with. But before we get into all of that and The Joy Who Lived, which I'm so excited to talk to you about, I have to know about a 100-person escape room and how on earth that works.
Amazing. Yes, I see. You have read my bio. 100-person escape room. So that is a reference to my RIP marriage, which I had we at our wedding. We decided to do a thing where immediately after getting married, we would pretend we had lost the rings and all of the guests had to find them. Which involved opening all of the wedding presents, taking apart all of the wedding decorations, and the climax of it was my friend Molly Lewis had to solve a Rubik's Cube in front of everybody. It was very fun and very dumb and extremely we had to make sure during that time that the bar was open for people who would hate us for making them be in an escape room. But truly, it was a really incredible experience. I had a lot of fun with it.
Oh man, that's so fun! I love that so much. I think I would like it. I'm trying to put myself in the mind of a wedding guest. As I am married, and as a host of it, I feel like it would have been a lot of fun to pull that.
Yeah,
because I love a good shenanigan. As a guest, I'm like, would I enjoy? I think I would enjoy that because I don't need a dance. Yeah, it's fine. This seems fun.
Sure. Yeah, we had a lot of people at the wedding who were very nerdy, and I think it was fun. One of my favorite photos is my cousin, who was at the time maybe 7 or 8. Clearly, there's a photo of her clearly thinking she's explaining the puzzle to Mike Selinker, who is one of the foremost puzzle creators in the world, and he's like, go on. And he looks so frustrated, and she looks so excited to be telling him how it works, and it's one of my favorite things that's ever happened.
That's amazing. I love that so much. I should say you sent me your bio today, which I am deeply offended that you think I didn't already have that tab open on my computer.
Good. I'm glad. Look, the intent was to offend you. So
my go-to, and I've said this to a few people, the first question I ask, I always want it to be as alienating to the audience as possible. They are just not. They're just I don't know what they're talking about. And you did a great job explaining it to they came in immediately, but there's a moment when they hear that question that they're like, 100%. What is Jordan asking about? And that's always my goal. Yeah. I just want something obscure and bad.
I love that. Not enough talk show hosts are trying to alienate people. So
the audience specifically. I want it to be a challenge to get through the first 2 minutes of any interview I do.
Great.
Someone asked me today, they're like, do you practice the intro or do you just dive in and talk that fast? And I was like, I've been doing this too many times to practice. There's it's 30 seconds before someone joins and I'm like, words that mean good that start with the letter and then whatever word I have chosen, and I'm I gotta find it.
We're more prep than they sometimes do on Do 20. I see them having to come up with that alliteration in person in every time. So you're you're ahead of that. You have 2 minutes before the interview starts.
Yeah, I'm a professional for sure. All right. The Joy Who Lived. Let's talk about it. This is, first of all, the greatest name I've ever heard.
Thank you so much.
it provides me with, I thought about it since like whenever you first announced it. I think I saw it first. Izzy had shared it on Instagram, and I saw it and I saw the name and I was like, fuck, that's so good. I was like, oh, she's gonna be so mad about it, and that fills my heart with joy so much. Anyway, The Joy Who Lived. Tell me about the festival.
Sure. Yes. I'm really glad you like the name. I'll be honest. One of the delays in getting the thing started was we need a good title for this, and I accessed every trans person I know who are all really good at puns, and it took us like a couple months to come up with that. So I'm very glad you like it, because truly, it was like, well, it has to be a good. I'm a good title person. So, The Joy Who Lived is a theater and comedy festival that's happening in Los Angeles, with also a lot of streamed events. For the main reason was because in Los Angeles they're doing the Harry Potter play at the Pantages for 4 months. It's like our big Broadway theater, and I knew that was going to be happening, and it was going to drive me crazy because there are so many wonderful, incredible, gorgeous, like trans theater artists in LA that just can't afford to make art. And I know a billion people are going to see that play. And I'm like, what if like half of you, like a third of an audience one night, knew about independent theater and knew that there were incredible people who are making art that aren't like actively contributing to the downfall of our society? Like, then that would be amazing. So that's where the festival came from. Of course, since then there was the election and there's a lot of stuff going on. So, just one disgraced child's author is far from the biggest problem any of us all have. But it's happening, and it's great. It's going to be about 20 events in March and April. The first kickoff is at Dynasty Typewriter, and it'll be a comedy show with Giovanni and Alex Songshaw and Rebecca Sugar, the creator of Steven Universe, and River Butcher's an incredible stand-up, and that'll be a fundraiser for Lambda Legal, who are currently suing the government over the executive orders. But the rest of the shows are all also going to be incredible, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say obviously, like outside of Dropout, you have people like Rebecca Sugar, who is like incredible, right? But you have some for folks on this channel who are deeply in the Dropout lore. Like, you have Giovanni, Alex Songshaw, DJ Mausner, who we have all recently fallen in love with on their first Make Some Noise appearance. Hopefully, first of many. It's look, when you go up like in an episode with Vic Michaelis and you come out and people are like, I really like this other person.
DJ flippin' rules. So funny. So funny. Truly amazing.
So good. It's really fun. It's really cool. Like I said, you have a Kickstarter going. You have cleared but a bunch of really cool rewards. Stickers, which are not... Look, I'm just going to say it. Not as good as Reika's stickers in her Kickstarter.
Okay, to be fair, we haven't released all of our Kickstarter designs yet, but I will say, if you haven't seen the Reika's Kickstarter for her film Vidya's Guide to the Afterlife, I will say that that is a compliment completely for me, because it was my idea and I art directed that whole process. And being able to email an old friend of mine who designed a bunch of merch for like my band back in the day and be like, so how are you at big butts on dinosaurs? Like, would you be able to do like 5 different dinosaurs with big butts? Listen, we know we can't do Yoshi, who is Reika's true love.
Right.
We can't do like caked up Yoshi, but we want the energy of that. And truly, every time I got a new revision and then I would have to send it to Reika and then convey Reika's notes of like, I don't know, like maybe this, like, is it better for the T-Rex to have good legs, and then like, can we add a bulge on somebody, and what should the tattoos say? Like, really, like, what an absolute delight to work with Reika, because everything is going to be ambitious and just the stupidest thing possible, which incredible. Incredible.
I love that so much. Yeah, it's when I interviewed Reika the first time, she didn't have like the Instagram channel yet. Like, there was a lot of you had to be following her on Instagram to know how much she loved a caked up Yoshi. And so like my first question to her was like, is Yoshi with a thick ass, the height of comedy.
Yeah.
And then shout out to Riverside, which we're recording on, in their like auto titling of captions. That is exactly what they titled the section. They're like Yoshi with a thick ass. I think it juicy ass, whatever it was, height of comedy. And I was like, you nailed it, Riverside. But yeah,
Incredible.
So delightful. You mentioned your band. I have a question. Did the McElroy steal Lasers and Feelings from you? Do you know that they play a game called Lasers and Feelings?
Yes, I have. I can draw the line for you right now. In 2012, my band released an album called Lasers and Feelings, and along with that, it was actually one of the beginnings of my crowdfunding journey. Now, a thing that I do professionally, but we decided to because art is impossible to fund, as you know. So the way you do it is you find people who can pay more than they need to for art. So we had a package that was maybe like $25 instead of just $10 for a CD, and you could get a set of 3 6-sided dice that were customized to our band. There was like a dinosaur and a cat and something else. And then we announced that, and our friend John Harper reached out and said, "I see you're releasing dice. Can I write a game based on your album that uses 3d6?" And that's what Lasers and Feelings is. Lasers and Feelings is a fan project based on that album that is now just like a really good one-page RPG that people play all the time. So people ask me if I wrote that song based on that. It's like, no, but I also have nothing to do with how incredible that game is, except that it has a lot of really specific references to my band.
Yes. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, as I was doing like the deep dive, I was like, I saw Lasers and Feelings, and I was like, I've heard someone play Lasers and Feelings before, and I had to like try to like go down that rabbit hole, and didn't make it very far before I was like, I'm just gonna ask Laser when I talk to him later.
On their, like some of their Taz like live shows. They do like their little like rockabilly thing, which I've seen live, which is incredible. I love the McElroy brothers. They haven't that they didn't steal from me. I'm sure they've stolen my wife and my family and everything, but that particularly thing, I think I can't be mad about.
That's super fair. It's also it's a super fun, like it's a very fun song.
Thank you.
I was listening to it today. A delightful, like it. As I was listening to it, I was like, they can't not be related. Like they have.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It is like. It is the concept of the game and the concept of the song are the same. Like I was like, they have to be related. But yeah, it's Doubleclicks, right? That is who released Lasers and Feelings. Okay, I just want to make sure. I know you have roughly, I would say, 10,000 artistic projects, and I'm trying to keep them all straight, and
that's
I
accurate.
Probably won't.
That's totally fine. You have an expert here.
Yes, that makes sense. Talk to me about the Doubleclicks, the like very nerdy, very fun band you have.
Yeah. So this band started in 2011. It's my sister and I. Shout out Aubrey Turner. We started writing songs on the internet. Well, we started like just setting weird stuff to music when I was still in college, and then we'd go to an open mic night, and I'd sneak in because I wasn't 21 yet, and we would play a song every week. And then we started getting booked on shows and realized that all of our songs were too short and we needed to have a lot more material. So we started setting a deadline that we would write a new song every week and release it on YouTube. And by the end of that project, we were like touring, and we had got to open for Hank Green and Paul and Storm and stuff like that. It was a very cool experience of like not really intending to start a band, and then suddenly within a couple of years, like I had used up all my vacation days at work, so I had to become a professional musician suddenly, and that was a really cool experience.
That's very cool. I will say, if you are on Spotify and you go to the Doubleclicks radio, Hank Green is on there, but also Garfunkel and Oates, which I think is a very solid compliment to like where you are hitting musically.
Yeah, it used to be 2 girls. I was playing this funny character of a girl back then. Very, very funny stuff. That's a joke. But we actually, our album Dimetrodon was produced by Mike Furman at the same time he was producing Garfunkel and Oates' album.
That's super fun.
We're all the same people.
Yeah, ultimately. Yeah. I mean, look, is that the transition for? That's not the right word that I wanted. Like questions transition.
Sure.
To a good place for a shark ate my penis. Like that feels like a good place.
Yeah. I actually have
that feels interconnected.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have my prop. My gender is back there. this is from A Shark Ate My Penis. Shark Ate My Penis is a solo musical that I wrote and did at Edinburgh Fringe 2-3 years ago. And I've done in LA a bit, and it's a show about trans men through history who kind of helped me figure out my journey as a trans man, because, you know, a lot of trans history is pretty, is erased, but trans mask history, for better or worse, as we see that visibility is definitely a trap, but trans mask, like, it just completely gets erased. These people just disappear. And so unless you basically, you think of like the pregnant man, Sunny, like Cher's kid, and then like Allie Beard's. Those are the trans people in this world that anyone's ever heard of. And so actually reading this history and finding out these guys and these people who have like wrestled with the same stuff that I'd been wrestling with for a long time, of like, do I want to be a man, or do I just want like basic human rights? And like, it's a tricky thing to go through as a quote woman. And they had been going through those journeys as well, and like, there are really like incredible feminist trans men for the last hundreds of years, right? Of like people who, that's a superpower of transness, is like being able to advocate for everybody. But anyway, that show is based, the title of the show is based on a guy named Sam Bundy, who was arrested for being trans, and when he was asked whether he was, why he was a man who didn't have a penis, he said, I owe that particular deformity to a shark in the West Indies. So it was like, no, I'm not a girl, a shark ate my penis, which I think is the greatest thing anyone's ever done. Truly,
that's incredible.
My hero. Yeah,
that's so good. That feels like a solid fit, from what I understand, for Edinburgh Fringe. Just like,
yes,
that feels like right up their alley. Because like, just weird isn't the right word for it, but esoteric is the right word for it. I think. I'm not 100% that I used the word correctly, but I'm going to move on like I did. I
mean, it's fringy. It's like, that's exactly what it is, right? It's theater on the fringe. It's theater that you couldn't probably pitch to a theater to be like, I'm doing this, but if you put it up, people will come, and that's what like indie art is all about. And that's what my whole vibe.
And that's a perfect segue back to The Joy Who Lived, because we didn't get to all the other very great. We got distracted by thick dinosaurs.
And I will. And listen, I'm not mad at that. I'm never mad at being distracted by thick dinosaurs.
Oh God,
part of our lives.
It's the funniest thing in the world to me. That they exist at all, like that. Like it's so funny that people are like, this is what I'm going to spend my time on. And my considerable talent, because like they're not. I mean, they're bad, like psychologically, but they are impressive works of art, which is
there's really and I don't know, they're not hurting anybody as far as I can tell.
Hurting anybody. Yes, like I'm sorry, I shouldn't yuck anyone's yum. But it's a wild, it's a wild choice. I'm sorry.
Listen,
Thick Yoshi's a wild choice.
Thick Yoshi is definitely a wild choice. I definitely see where it's coming from, and it's just, I think this. You've met Reika, so you know the seriousness with which she approaches everything, and the dedication and the hard work, and just a person that serious and dedicated who's going to give her 1,000%, and the fact that she gives her 1,000% to thick dinosaurs, and like takes National Boyfriend Day extremely seriously because she has to like post about. It's just like, that's people being extremely serious about really stupid things is my favorite thing in the world.
That's so good. It's so good. All right. Other things though people could get. Well, first of all, a bunch of live streams that are available, which is great. You're shooting right now for a $25,000 stretch goal, where you will basically have live streams for every show that you can have live streams for.
Exactly. We're working with Drew Spears Productions, who does a lot of live streaming. They did the live streaming for Katie and Erica's Valentine's Day show. They do live streaming for a ton of stuff that I do. So we want to hire them to live stream the whole thing, which is happening across like 6 venues in LA, because while there is a lot of fun visibility for trans art here in LA, it's also like, it's literally not legal to be trans other places. So we would like everybody to be able to see it. And there's really fun stuff. Yeah. Like that opening show obviously is going to be streamed. My friend, speaking of people who put a lot of energy into stupid stuff, my friend Jill Young is doing a show called The Funeral for My Third Nipple about their top surgery. And when they had that, when you get top surgery, you lose some things on the way, and one of those things was their third nipple, which is very funny and weird. There's Asexuality, the musical, that's coming up. It's Chloe Badner, who is I think you've talked to the designer for Game Changer, is doing like a weird puppet show thing about feelings, which is going to be incredible.
That's a Chloe designer move for sure.
Of the Zam puppet.
Yep.
Heard of it. So there's truly I have a new musical that I haven't really talked about, that I'm writing with my partner Maddox Pennington, called Love Chicken, which is about like people playing like two cars throwing at each other, and it's about trans people in love, and like queer love, and how nobody can actually talk about it and stuff. And there's truly a wild lineup of really incredible stuff.
So, yeah, that's so fun. God, I love, one of the things I love about Chloe is that they're so they're like very new into the like improv scene, and they're like taking like I think pretty introductory level classes at like UCB.
Yeah,
and they have access to, let's say, the greatest improvisers in the world. It's so funny to me that it's like you go to you go to your like 101 class, and then the next day you're on set with Brentley Mulligan, just like truly wild.
Well, yeah, I mean, I not to take credit for everything anybody has ever done, but I did make them take improv, because we had talked about them putting up a solo show and stuff, and they're just like, but I don't know, me on stage. And it's like, yes, obviously you on stage, get up there. And then they ended up bringing like 4 of their suite, like the UCB prototype, Matt, and Matt, all to a show that came that I was putting on, which was an all trans show. And so they were like the only 4 cis white guys, like just kind of sitting there like, oh, this is nice, I'm happy. It's just like bringing improv 101 to the queer community. It's all happening. Chloe connects everybody. We love to see it.
That's so great. You should take credit, because as far as I understand, that is one of 2 things that has brought Chloe joy in like the last year, is improv and the shocky therapy thing. I don't know what it's called.
Chloe also designed the My Gender. Oh, can I show you also? Let's see. Just show. I should make sure that this room is safe. But this time machine up there, also designed by Chloe. Its name is Elliot, and it is from the Shark Ate My Penis musical. So there you go.
Incredible. Incredible. But yeah, other rewards people can get.
Yes.
A great Joy Who Live t-shirt. I think that's where my pledge is going.
Fantastic. We also added a second design just now by Julia Kay, who wrote Out and an incredible webcomic that you've probably seen. And it's a little witch going trans rights and turning a person into a frog. And the frog goes, "How could you do this to me, an author?" Which is my favorite thing.
That's very good.
I love Julia. And she turned that around really fast for us, which was very sweet. Amazing stuff.
There's also the golden ticket, you get to go to all the shows, but a ceramic magnet, very fun. A needle felted friend, also very fun.
Yes, we've got some fun queer artists donated stuff, and I was like, sure, we'll sell this.
Yeah,
they're going to good homes. I know who's getting them, and they're going to good homes.
That's fantastic. And an incredible poster signed by a bunch of people, I'm assuming from the festival.
We're going to bring it around to as many shows as we can to get everybody to sign. So that'll be very fun.
And then if you got the big cash, which I don't think you do because you're watching this, you could have your name on things and get like shout outs and things.
Wealthy viewers. This seems like the kind of thing that somebody has a lot of money would have enough time to watch. I think that's allowed. I think that's
fair. Oh, all right. But yeah, it's so exciting. I was both bummed that I was bummed you met your goal, which doesn't seem right. But I was also
problematic.
I think that might be a hate crime. But
I was calling Giovanni, but I was going to tell you to your face. But
great, thank you.
You'll get a ticket.
I was like, I saw it today when it was really close. It was like 500 short, and I got busy at work. Because also wanted to be the person that got it over. I was like,
Yes.
it's one of two things: either I want to have the interview first, or I want to pledge and hit the.
Right.
But I did neither
And
of
then we
those
would have had
things.
to
So
dedicate the whole thing to you
yeah, that's
because you
how
would have
that
been the
works.
person who like you make it's all or nothing, and you're
Yep,
the all.
I'm the all. That's definitely how it works.
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned Erica and Katie's Valentine's show.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to see it. I have a 3-year-old, which I have to clarify for most of the interviews that I do because I
Yeah.
am universally behind on all things. Like I mentioned, I talked to Danny Carr from Critical Role, and I had to be like, "Hey, I'm just a heads up. I am 130 episodes behind on Critical Role."
Sure.
So I'm just a little bit backlogged on
Easy to
that.
be though. Yeah.
Yeah. They just keep making stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that is why I say that I didn't get a chance to see it, but I heard incredible things about it.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your role in these live show production? That's it. That's the question. These live show productions.
That's it. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so I come from a background of like we were talking about the Doubleclicks, where I used to produce 7 shows a week in a different venue with a different sound system with a different audience, in a different city. Like that was a thing I came from. So when I moved to LA and we stopped touring as much, I have this wild skill set. And the first time, I mean, I put it together on shows that I produce a lot, like Gentlemen's Club, a fancy trans comedy event. But the first time I did that for somebody else was at Izzy and Brennan's or Big Family Reunion, Izzy Rowland's Big Family Reunion, which was the kickoff show for her Kickstarter. And at that show, I met a lot of people, including Katie, and I think I've met Vic before. But this crew of folks who, I mean, as you know, everybody at Dropout is amazing. Most of them don't work for Dropout. They have a lot of time on their hands, if they were only doing Dropout, to do a lot of other stuff. And they're all incredible performers. So I feel very lucky that when Katie and Erica were putting that show together, they were like, who should we ask? And Vic Michaela sent them to me. And so my job for that was organization, which Katie Maravich doesn't really need, as you probably know, an incredibly organized person. But we got everything together to decorate the stage. We came up with all the little bits. Everybody brought Valentines to give to each other in the audience. That was the thing that we encouraged people to do. And then we had a live rank room. We had like a Horner Corner presentation that Erica wrote and I made the slides for. And so
I've seen the art from the Horner Corner. It got shared on my Discord. People were thrilled and upset by it.
Yeah, it was the day that I had to Google nodding. And I didn't know what it was. And by the end of it, I did know what it was. And it was a thing that Erica Ishii did to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at him, but he's done it to a lot of people now.
Yeah. Erica and Abria unleashed the Omegaverse into my brain, a thing I didn't know about before a Horner Corner episode. And I'm never going to forgive the two of them for it, but also very grateful. No. I think it's the same. It's
you never look at a werewolf the same way, or really anything. Yeah, it was truly a wild experience. That was very fun. We ended up, Erica ended up doing that presentation and requesting that Brennan come on stage and have to watch, which was an incredible experience. It was like, Brennan, you have to sit here and you have to listen to this presentation about how hot a Kraken is. And it was. I also learned that day that you can buy a tentacle. How is there a rating on this?
Nah, explicit. Okay. It's good.
Okay, a tentacle dildo on Walmart.com for like $18. That's another thing that Erica Ishii is the reason that I know. So there we go. Yeah,
just making a difference out here in the world, truly.
Truly.
It's so fun. You mentioned the Izzy Kickstarter. That one,
yes.
I mean, that one went buck wild right out the gate. That was funded in like 10 minutes or something. People really like Izzy Rowland, as it turns out.
They do, and I've seen that film. It's fantastic. I can't wait for the final version to be out. But that was such a fun thing to work on. We in addition to like running the Kickstarter, right, I'm like a newsletter guy and stuff. So we got Izzy's newsletter going for that. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are the people who made that project successful. But it was so fun to work with her on telling this story about her dad and her life, and like, and the way that she was able to make a movie without, I mean, to be fair, Kickstarter went great, but still almost no money in terms of movies, because like her whole family, this is the family business, like they're all comedians from every stripe of the world, which is just like, it's so cool to learn that about Izzy's family, and they're all just absolutely wild people to have meetings with, as you could imagine.
Sure. You did a thing. I want to give you credit for it, and I don't know if you are actually responsible, so you should just take the credit. You did a thing that I love so much in Kickstarter choices, which is when you have cleared your like, hey, we're going to make the best possible project financially goal. You then transitioned from let's raise more money to let's build a community around this project. Was that your choice? How did that come? Because it became like a thing of like, hey, let's. I think the exact language was something like, let's send a message to studios that we care about independent film. If you can donate $1 and we can just increase the number of sponsors we have, like that's how we'll meet our next stretch goals.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. I'll take credit for that. I think that was a combination of there was real, people, this started happening and people did start noticing in the world of the town I live in, and I think it's powerful to be able to say to decision makers like, this is something that people care enough about to give money, like it is all that capitalism cares about, capitalism being the bad guy, of course, but like it is a thing that we can show and that really helps knock those doors down. And also when you get into the door, to say like, I know what I'm talking about, you don't have to fit me into a different mold, because actually the mold that I built is a thing that people already like. Plus I think that's really fun, just to be able to like, I don't know, we have now this community of 5,253 people that are getting updated on the project and stuff like that, and that's just fun for me to like know that this movie, when it does come out, is going to have that community.
Yeah, cool. It's got a built-in audience ready to support it. Yeah, it's very fun. Reka posted in Reddit on Reddit today, which like, Reka, get off Reddit. Don't be there.
Whenever she tells me she's doing that, I'm like, why? But it is working. Really weirdly, this is the first Kickstarter I've run where Reddit is actually like in like the top refers, so it's working. Great, good job, Reka.
Yeah,
she's a smart lady.
Yeah, very much. But she's on the Joko cruise and was like, yes. I can't believe we've done everything, or not everything, but like so excited. And it's really fun. Like that also like, I mean, obviously, like so much of this channel and what I have built is about community. It's like of course. The whole reason I exist as an internet person. And it's really fun to see, one, how much like folks like you and like want to build that community, but also then to see the community that I have a very small hand in be like, but also we want to support, like Reka's making a movie, we're going to support it. Like Izzy's making a movie, we're going to throw all the money in the world at it. Also, can I just say that Reka didn't realize I was like, hey, were you worried that after Izzy's Kickstarter that the amount of people who wanted to see a like science fiction comedy about death was like tapped? And she was like, I never put it together that they were similar in that way. And I was like, that's wild. Anyway, community was the actual question.
Yeah. I love community. I think from my background of like when I was in that band, right out of college, I didn't know any better. And I don't regret, but we were so close to our community, right? And like I was a young woman, quote, on the internet. And so I hadn't, people were attracted to what we were doing. But the people that stuck around and the people who were interested in like our band when we weren't just going like LOL D&D, but they were also, we were like, we care about equality and we care about these things. And we were some of those people, you know, like YouTubers who build a community based on like a shared um, set of values. And I think that Dropout is a huge, it does the same thing. You know, like this is a community where they care about diversity and they care about, you can tell in the jokes that they release and stuff that they're trying, they are trying not to hurt people, which is not easy and not something that I think we should ignore. Like it's all, there are so many podcasts and shows and TV shows that I can't watch because it's harmful to me and it's harmful to my community and it's harmful to, you know, trans folks and people of color and the disabled community, and like these are easy targets for comedy. And Dropout does not do that, and I think that that has led to a community of people who feel really safe and welcome, which is beautiful, and it's an honor to be able to be part of that community. I mean, I flipping love Dropout, and I just love feeling safe in something that's so hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, that's super fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I also say like it's uh um the other thing like the other part of that is like, I mean, now, and I mean, look, like I was part of the Unprepared Casters charity live stream last year that did like a charity fundraiser for Trans Lifeline, and like they've said every year, like, now more important than ever to like
Right.
raise money for and every year it's somehow more true, and it's just like, God,
Yeah.
it has to stop being true at some point, please. Like,
Yeah.
can we make it so that it's not always the most important time? uh,
Yeah.
um, but like, building that level of community and like being able to celebrate art. We're going right back into the Joy Who Lived.
Yeah.
Feels
Yeah.
so important. Of like, like I've talked about, and like many people have talked about. I'm certainly not the coiner of this phrase, but like joy as an act of
Hmm. Of
rebellion is not the right.
rebellion. Yeah.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
how important is that, like, are you conscious of that as you were putting together the Joy Who Lived, of like what it will mean to folks?
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, after I would say that it happened at a particular point, but it really didn't. Like the thing that I dedicate my life to, let's say this started after the 2016 election, but really before that, of like, was, you know, what are my skills and what can I use them for? And, you know, I'm the kind of, you know, whatever you want to, whichever one of my diagnoses you want to attribute this to, but like, I love to have a flow chart of like, what is my life? And one of the things is like, how can I make life better for people who are trans, who are queer, who are misrepresented or underrepresented in various ways? And to me, the skills that I have lead to art and community and organization. Like regardless, any point in history where any group has been, you know, targeted or whatever, coming together to sing is something that brings us joy and gives us the energy to go on, right? Having comedy, not just the comedy that does like stick it to the man and opens people's minds up about like whether, you know, Elon Musk is evil, etc.
He
Thank you,
is.
Brennan. But the like these things, like that is so important, and that's a thing that I love that I can help happen. And there are a lot of like people in the community who seeing them makes other people's lives better. I mean, I know, you know, the trans folks on Dropout, like I've, you know, in my limited capacity as an internet famous person, have had many people for, I am the first person they come out to. And I know that that was really important to me when I needed somebody to come out to, you know? So it's, so yes, I am very cognizant of the work that I'm doing. I mean, you know, like working with trans art and trans artists is not the way to make money, certainly. But it is a really amazing thing to make me feel like I'm helping and that the world is doing something. And I will say overall, and there are the people who talk about this as well, like just the act of transitioning and um, deciding to live in the gender that you are meant to be is a rebellious act of joy, right? Like I could decide to be a miserable woman for the rest of my life, but I would prefer to be a man who has the capacity for happiness because that makes me a better member of society. Like me miserable is not helping anybody, but me happy, I can go and I can help my community and I can help all kinds of folks and I can like do a job and adopt cats, like these are things that I can't do if I'm paralyzed with the horrible feeling of knowing that my body is wrong and knowing the way that people see me are wrong and I can't do anything about it. So transness in itself and gender expression for everybody, whether you are trans or cis or anything, like deciding to express yourself and be seen in the way you want to be seen is giving yourself the gift of joy and giving the world the gift of yourself, which I think is so super important.
Oh man, just staggeringly beautiful. I don't know how to follow up with that because I just ask dumb questions about things, and you're out here all profound and nonsense.
Hey, I will say my partner right now is rushing home, hoping that he can say hi to you because he's a big fan. He's like, "Wait, you're talking to Jordan?" so you're doing good work, and I think, just to compliment you for a second, as I said, like Dropout is fantastic, but it's also a platform, right? And these folks don't always have that platform, can't do everything on it, which is why it's incredible that there's a platform that you have created for all of these incredible creators to go and talk about the things that are important to them outside of the context of a Smarty Pants presentation. Not everything fits into a short form improvised comedy show. Like these people have stuff to say and it's really important and things to make. And thank God that somebody's listening.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I'll say there was a point I was at the NADPOD 5-year anniversary show and was waiting in line for merch, and someone came up to me, a young woman, and was like, "You've made me feel safe in this community." And I started crying because obviously, do you get the if people are coming out to you as a to transition as you're the first person? I have to imagine that hits every time of just all right, I have to go sob in beautiful moment of joy. Please excuse me.
It's the best. I feel like talking about it. I feel so. I guess humbled is the word, but it's just amazing. There are kids in the world who literally dressed up as me for Halloween before they transitioned and before I transitioned, and then I transitioned and they dressed up as me for Halloween afterwards. And it's like, well, that's crazy and super flattering, and the responsibility of well, I better not ever mess up in my whole life. There are people who have tattoos of songs that I've written and stuff like that, and that's just I get that. I have tattoos of art I like, and I think that the art is bigger than the artist in a lot of cases, but I think it's so important to have people you can trust, especially the people who are making the stories you listen to. So I'm
wild. Oh boy, I also feel the I'm trying real hard not to mess up, gang. I'm doing my best. I will say I have made mistakes and I will continue to make mistakes. The best I can do is apologize after I have made them. Which is
listening.
The usual
listening
goal.
is the thing. Listening is the thing. It's like your choice is either to mess up and then get mad and side with the people who are defending you, or to listen and learn and be a model of apologizing and changing, because nobody is born perfect. It's just whether you decide to make it a personal blow to your ego that you are not perfect.
Man, all of this is so good. It's so good. Another person that you've worked with, Maria Bamford.
Yes.
Just
truly the most magical experience of my life is just my phone ringing. I'm in the middle of a nap and it's Maria Bamford, and I pick up and she goes, "Hey Laser, it's Maria Bamford." I'm like, I know. Even if my caller ID didn't say and you didn't say your name, I would know this is Maria Bamford. What a wonderful human being.
How did you help? How did you help get what did you help Maria with?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is the common theme in my life that happened. This started in the last 5 years or so, but short story is the Doubleclicks was my band. We immediately had really great success on Kickstarter, and that became a thing that I realized my brain is wired very specifically to do Kickstarters. I love art and I love community, two things that we've been talking about, and I don't mind telling people that they need to pay for art. So I get called in for Kickstarter, so that's how I got called in for Izzy. I worked on the Desi Quest Kickstarter. I've worked on all of this stuff, but Maria heard about me from her friend Jackie Cation, who is a person that I've toured with and is
Love
incredible.
Jackie Cation, yeah,
truly the best. And then wanted to fund a web series. The best thing about Maria's web series is that she refused to do any rewards, and she didn't want anybody who paid more than anybody else to get more for paying more than anybody else. And so it's just like the anti-Kickstarter, basically. We're just like, well, we'll have like 5 levels because I need you to have 5 levels, otherwise people aren't going to pick them. But all of them are exactly the same, and you don't get anything for it. And the people at Kickstarter were like, I don't think this is it. I'm like, listen, we're not convincing her to do it otherwise, and it flippin' worked. And she ended up with extra money that she just donated to the LA fires, which is incredible. Like to a bunch of different. She and her partner went GoFundMe shopping with the extra like $25K that they made from the project.
That's like astonishing. Also, feels like the most Maria Bamford thing that's ever existed. Of just like, it's very funny to like, if Kickstarter's like, hey, I don't know, you should have been like, no, you don't know Maria's fans. This is exactly what they want.
And that's the thing I love about Kickstarter, and I love about the work that I get to do is just like, it's about when you're dealing directly with people, it's just about being yourself. And the more yourself you can be, the more people are attracted to that like light and energy, which is why like, it's like, yes, Izzy, you should absolutely just use Comic Sans for this art. Or like, yes, you should just be like, just like be yourself and be loud and weird. And we'll just list Brennan as Brennan Rowland on the page. That'll confuse people, but I think they'll get the idea.
Funniest thing.
And it's just like people are attracted to that, and there are systems of art in especially Hollywood, which are breaking down, they see people that are successful and they try to emulate exactly that successful path, but that's not what people are attracted to. They aren't attracted to that path. They're attracted to that person who built that path. And so Maria Bamford just doing whatever the hell she wants is what people want, regardless of what a bad idea it is, given everybody else's experience.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, I live in Austin, Texas, and we have a comedy festival here, Moon Tower Comedy Festival, and Maria will periodically be on that list. And oh man, what a joy every time! Of just because like a lot of times she'll do like a big headlining show, which obviously well deserved, of course. But then like periodically you'll just be at like a tiny room, and she'll just like pop in to do like 5 minutes, and it's just like it's the best because like. Wasn't on the list. You're just like sitting there, which is a thing that happens in LA. I know a lot. I lived in LA for a little over a year, where like I would go to UCB all the time and just be like, "Oh, by the way, Jim Gaffigan's here and it's going to come out and do 5." And you're like, "I'm sorry, what?" The biggest names in comedy are just like bouncing around. They want to try out a new set. Okay, I'm down for it. I'm sitting cross-legged on a stage. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Bamford will just get brunch with a random stranger and yell and talk out her set with them. Like she'll just do her set because she doesn't like going to clubs anymore. So she'll just sit down and be like, "I need to run my hour. Will you just come and have brunch with me? Anybody in any town where I am?" It's so amazing. What a wild life that I could never live. But God bless her.
Oh, that's so fun. All right, so we've covered Izzy Kickstarter. We've covered. Oh man, I'm so glad you mentioned the Brennan Rowland thing. I had forgotten about that. It's so good.
It's so good.
We talked about Reika's Kickstarter. Are there? Do you like? You obviously have The Joy Who Lived. Do you have other like giant projects that are coming up that you can tease even a little bit, or like is everything secret?
No, I mean, I can tell you about a project that you probably already know exists, which is Becca Scott's Split on the Clock Tower show.
Yeah.
I'm in episode 2, which I think comes out soon because their Kickstarter is going to be launching soon. Believe it or not, I'm involved in that. So that's going to be really awesome. The first episode, if you've watched, I mean, it's like it's watching Vic Michaelis and Brennan Lee Mulligan and all of these people play vampire or play werewolf, like those games, like a hidden role game. It's a little more complicated. Blood on the Clock Tower is amazing because you can't solve it because there's probably bad information. And so it's just a bunch of friends lying to each other. And it was the first day I met Reika was on set for that. So that when you watch that, just be aware. but yeah, that'll be coming soon, and they're hopefully making more of that, which is great because I want more of those people playing weird games.
Yeah, I will confess I haven't watched it yet, but there is a very specific reason, which is I am planning to talk to Becca about it when it launches, and so I was like, I'm gonna wait until it like gets close to launch, so it's fresh on my mind. And I was just like,
but then there will be a second episode, just so be aware that you'll have to watch 2 at that point.
That's fine.
Everybody looks great in it. They brought in the Dropout makeup people who are wonderful.
Was it Denise Valentine who came in and like did makeup?
Yes, I think Denise and somebody else. Yeah,
really amazing. God, I talked to Denise last week, and I can't stop telling people this. She did the interview at an IKEA. She sat down at a desk in an IKEA.
That's classic. That's amazing.
There were people just like wandering around behind her shopping.
In IKEA.
Yeah,
amazing.
Just like in the showroom, just like sat down. Like she was like it's the biggest power play I've ever seen in my life. It's iconic.
That rules.
She rules so hard.
That's incredible. What a vibe.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really excited because Kate Elliott was part of the first episode. I've talked to Kate recently. Was it? That's why I was like, why did I talk to Abria about this? It's because I was in New York. I went to see 20-Sided Tavern with Abria. She was there. I had interviewed Kate the night before in a hotel room in New York, which is very weird. Anyway, but like Abria was like, it's not fair. Kate's like too pretty and like charming, and you just can't accuse her of lying, which is a very fun twist on the game. But yeah, I'm really excited for I'm excited to watch Blood on the Clock Tower, and then excited for that Kickstarter coming so soon.
I just want Becca Scott to have whatever she wants. So that's my goal.
That's another one that like when the Kickstarter launch, people are going to lose their minds about it. The internet and the Dropout community really loves Becca Scott. So as they should. She's great. All right. If people want to find you on the internet, though, where are the many places that they can find you?
I think I'm mostly on Instagram these days. I try to not exist, but I'm Laser the Boy on Instagram, LaserTheboy. Yeah. So that's the main place. Or check out The Joy Who Lived, which I think is just Joy Who Lived on Instagram. And we have a website going up soon. Keep frantically refreshing joywholived.com, and right now it's very, very under construction, but maybe you'll enjoy that. Don't give it money until it seems like it's set up right. But yeah, please check out that festival. No matter where you are, the live streams are going to be incredible. It's like, Dropout Presents level, 3 cameras, microphones, the whole thing. It'll be great. I am so excited about it. It's a very ambitious project, and it's coming up in just like a few weeks.
Yeah, the internet would not let me load joywholived.com. I'm very sad.
It's actually, but also, we also have the joywholived.com. That one will work right now.
Yeah, as someone who has a name that is spelled not the correct way. The joywholived.com did bring me to a website. Mm-hmm. I got there. It looks nice. It's got like a calendar of events. Oh, there's so many. It does. You're a good man, Charlie Brown. Love it.
There's an all trans. There's a good man, Charlie Brown. My friend is playing Charlie Brown. I cannot wait for that. That was a thing that was already kind of happening, and we were like, could we sponsor you and you could be part of our festival? And they were like, yes. It's going to be incredible. It came to the producer in a dream that he needed to do an all trans. There's a good man, Charlie Brown, and it was right. It was the right thing for him to do.
I love that. I do see Funeral for My Third Nipple is also on that list.
Yes.
So folks can see that. Yeah, incredible. I'm so excited for this. Also, you have a Patreon. You should plug your Patreon.
Yeah. Because I have a Patreon. I also have a day
people should pay for art.
Somebody else. Yeah, people should pay for art. I'm not making a ton of art right now. I'm making a lot of, I guess I am. I'm facilitating a lot of art. Yes. And I appreciate that Patreon every month. I use it to hire people to help me make art. So yeah, check me directly out, please.
Amazing. Laser, thank you so much. This is an absolute
thank
joy.
You.
Joy Who Lived, no less. Look at that. We did it. That's the end. I don't have an interview. I'm just gonna hit stop recording.
Okay, goodbye.